everyone, this is Elisa from Anaya's Toy Box Crochet, and I'm here to show you what I've been up to. Thank you all for coming. I love showing off my makes, and I love that you like coming and seeing them. You can find me on social media as Anaya's Toy Box. I'm only Anaya's Toy Box Crochet on YouTube, just to distinguish what my channel is about. But you'll find me as Anaya's Toy Box on Etsy, Ravelry, Instagram, and Facebook. Alright, the sun is coming in and out, so my lighting is going to be a little strange. I do have other lights on. I have two other lights on, but you'll still be seeing the sun. Okay, so what have I been up to? I've been up to this. This is what I've been up to. I've been making amigurumi. So I'm going to show you the first project. They're not going to stay as perfect as now once I start moving things around, but oops. The first one I want to show you is the train. This is by designed by Tupti Crochet. It is done. It is one of those projects that I wanted to get done soon, because it's been one that I've had in my pattern stash for a long time. So over here I am going to have a picture of all the projects that I wanted to get done within a year and a half, starting January of this year, and I can say it's done. Yeah. Ooh, what's going on with the lighting? I don't know. I'm all washed out all of a sudden. That's better. Okay, anyway, so it's done. I finished him. I used this camouflage yarn from Red Heart Super Saver that was part of a giveaway I won from Kim, the Crafty Nomad. And I used not Basic Stitch. This is Premier Basics. I don't remember the colorway. This is the Hobie Amigo. This over here is also Premier Basics, and the black is Amigo. And yeah, I like the way it turned out. I think it's so cute. I told you the story already about this pattern. It's done. It's off my list. I'm happy it's done. I think it's cute. Alright, so the next thing I worked on is this monster. So I decided I'm going to make a Lovey. And so I was going to make what I ended up making right here. I was going to make this. But yeah. Eyelash yarn is absolutely crazy hard to work with, especially when you're working amigurumi, and I thought it would be really nice and soft amigurumi, so I started making it. I lost my stitch. I lost stitch count really quickly. I tried to frog it to figure it out. Frogging is impossible, so I decided I'm just gonna keep going. I'm gonna work it, and it's not gonna be perfect, but it'll be what it is. And I decided it's gonna be a monster. Since it's not gonna be perfect, monsters, nobody knows what they're supposed to look like. They could look like anything in the world. So I'm going to make a monster, and I'm going to make a Lovey with it. So I made the head. I put the eyes way too high. Like, the head shape doesn't bother me as much as the fact that I put the eyes so incredibly high on this toy. It should have come at least 3 rows lower. Ugh. I tried to make a big mouth to compensate, but it still looks ugly. It is a monster toy. In every way. It's not ugly. It's not cute. It's pretty ugly because the eyes are too high. And yeah, you can't even see the teeth that I embroidered. It turned out pretty ugly. But my son wants him, and he didn't want a Lovey, so it didn't turn into a Lovey. I put the horns in, and it's done. It's his. Eyelash yarn is not for amigurumi. And I know this. Remember last year I knitted up a cowl with all my eyelash yarn, which wasn't much. I just had a little bit. Just so, I'm sorry if you could hear that. That's my washing machine. It can be really loud. Anyways, it's gonna beep soon. I'm just warning you. Anyways, I worked it up. My son wants it because he loves the texture of it because it's so soft. And yeah, he didn't want a Lovey, so it's not a Lovey. Ugly toy. Eyes too high. You know, the face can make or break your project. If you do like too high, too low, it's just not that there's really such a thing as too low eyes. I mean, unless it's like on the chin, but low eyes are always better. Anyway, so I made that. It's his. He likes it. He's like, when are you gonna give it to me? I'm like, just wait till I do my video. So he's gonna get it today. Check this out. I made a sugar skull. I got a gift in my email. Thank you so much, Z, for this pattern. I love it. That's Zelda NRJ3. You can check her out. She's amazing. She sent me this pattern in my email as a gift. And I'm like, ooh, I have to work it up. So I started off, I started off right away making two. This is, I made it according to the pattern, which was DK weight. And I'll show it on my whips. And I made it with this, with worsted weight. And just because I wanted to see the size difference, and I will show it to you because I never finished the DK one. This one I worked up in a day. You know, it was really quick. It was really, really quick. I worked it up. I loved it. And then I just didn't do the DK one yet. I will. And yeah, I love it. This is, I have to look up the pattern. Give me a second. My iPad turned off. It's called Sugar Skull Soiree. And it's by Markin of the Hatanai. I will link it down below if you want to check it out, but it is nice. I loved making it. It's given me ideas for my own doll, for the eyes. I'm not sure what I'm going to do yet. I have an idea, but I think I might just put a flower crown like this, not like flat flower crown where you embroider on the doll. I'm not sure. But yeah, I finished this. Love it. All right. So then I decided to make this. I have a little pile of yarn right here. You can't see it. I'm not showing it to you. Myself as a mess. And it's full of yarn where I have enough to make a small project like this, but I don't want to put it away. I want it to just, you know, be loved, be worked up, and be what it's meant to be. So I keep it close to me to work up, and I will work them all up. But I grabbed one of them, and I made this octo. This is a pattern by Rel of the Dabbling Hook. I decided not to put them out, or I don't know if it was a decision or it was just laziness. I didn't put them out on. But this is it. This is my octo. This is, again, I will link the Ravelry link down below. But if you want to buy it, if you want to make it but you can't buy it, I always promote buying patterns. Oh, the sun is again washing me out. I'm so sorry. I don't know how to block that. I guess I could close the curtains, but I don't want to. I'm just going to continue, even though the sun sometimes really is beaming in here. Yeah, so I made the octo. It's cute. I love it. It worked out. It's fast. I love making these octos, and I love that it helps me use up those little bits of yarn. Yeah, so there it is. I will be putting the Ravelry link in the words. Why aren't they coming? I will put the Ravelry link in the description, but if you go to her channel and you look around a little bit, you can find a tutorial on this. I bought the pattern. All right, so the last thing here, it's not my last FO, but the last thing I'm going to show you, oh, not the last, I don't even know what I'm saying anymore. The last thing up here to show you is a Lovey. I made a Lovey. So this Lovey is using my animals in clothing pattern, which I have the same body for 3 types of animals. I have for a rabbit, a dog, and a bear. So I did the bear for this. And I did the arms for it, but I didn't do the body. And I used Z's tutorial on how to make the granny square Loveys so that I don't need to make the blanket separate and sew it on. So I actually made this. Well, there is sewing. I mean, I sewed the arms and the snout and the ears on, but the Lovey and the head is one piece. I really enjoyed making it. It was fun. I wanted to, I used Lion Brand Feels Like Butter, and I was planning to finish off the eyelash yarn with this, but I was afraid I didn't have enough. So I added some Lion Brand jeans yarn that I had. And then I finished it off, and I only had enough for one row. I was hoping for another row. Finished it off with the eyelash yarn. So it's done. I don't have enough anymore of the eyelash yarn. Anyways, I made this. I plan to make more. If you would like to make this, I do have a tutorial. I mean, you could buy the pattern in my Ravelry store if you like. But I have a tutorial on this pattern. Well, not this pattern, the bunny version. Like I said, I made a bunny, a dog, and a bear. The bunny, I have a tutorial on it. It's in my playlist. It's in my tutorial playlist. So if you go to my channel, click on playlist and look at tutorials, you'll find the bunny as a tutorial. Or you could go to Ravelry, find animals and clothes. So what I did with this is I worked up the head, very similar to how I showed you. But when I got to the round, I forget what number the round was, but the round where there is 36 single crochets, I worked in the back loop. Then I continued working it, like in my pattern, the bottom doesn't close up. You're supposed to sew it onto the body. I closed up the pattern. So I just went on and did the 6 decreases per round all the way till I had 6 decreases, and I closed up the bottom. Then I came back and I looked at Zelda and RJ3's tutorial, and you should do that too if you want to make this. And I worked a round of single crochet with a bigger hook on the front loops that I had left. Remember, I worked on the back loops, so the front loops were still available. I worked on the front loops, and I made a round of single crochets around the front loops. No, I didn't use a bigger hook. I used the same hook, but I crocheted really, really loose. The reason is because I used an F hook here, and I think an H hook, or I don't remember what hook I used. I used either a G or an H. I did try to do the initial single crochet with the bigger hook, but it wouldn't fit into the stitches. So then I worked it up with the F, and I kept my tension super, super loose. And I worked up the 36 single crochet, and then I tested, and the yarn went through those, and I finished the tutorial exactly. I finished this exactly like Z's tutorial, Zelda and RJ3's tutorial. So this part of the head is mine, this part is Zelda and RJ3's, and you can make it too. Her pattern, her tutorial is free. You can make the bunny version, which is free on, you know, I have a tutorial on it in my Etsy. Am I talking too much about this? It's in my playlists, in my tutorial playlists. Okay, sorry about that. Anyways, I don't remember what I was saying, but working on this blanket and all the other stuff made my vase fill up so much faster. So when I have yarn that I don't even think I have enough to make this out of, I put them in a vase, and then later on I make a scrap basket, and I use one yarn throughout the entire pattern, the entire basket, and then I put whatever colors in whatever order that I want to, or not even that I want to. This one I didn't even do that. I just pulled colors and did it. So I use this yarn. This is Impeccable Speckles, and I hate it. I ordered it online, and I think I was like just a few dollars short of getting free shipping on Michaels. So I went to the Speckles and I ordered a blue and 2 of the purples. So 1 blue, 2 purples to get up to the thing because I like purple. And when I saw the blue, I was like, ooh, I've used it up already, by the way. I bought this a couple years ago, or a year ago. Anyways, so I bought it. And the picture had a beautiful bright purple, and this is what I got. I don't like it. I think I would have liked it if the picture hadn't been so bright, and I'm just like thinking of the picture and then what I got. But I didn't like it. So I decided I'm going to put it in a basket, and having it mix with lots of bright colors is going to brighten it up and make it nicer. So I didn't weave in my ends or cut my ends at the bottom, but this is my basket. Again, I put any and all yarns where I have just a little bit. I can't start a project, I can't finish a project with it, there's just so little left, and I put it into these types of basket. I have not weaved in the ends, I have not cut up the ends and the bottom, because with these, since they're baskets, they're not going to be washed too much. I just crochet over the ends and then I cut off the hanging. But anyways, this is what I made, one of my scrap baskets. As you can see, the rest of the eyelash yarn was here. Yeah, I love the way it turned out, and it did brighten up with all these colors. I mean, it really did brighten up, but I like it. My baskets are all one of a kind because I use those little scraps, and you never know what you're gonna get. And with this one especially, like, not always do I do this. Sometimes I look at the colors and say, these two colors look better together, so I'll hold them together. With this one, I just grabbed whatever was on top. So there is a little bit of wool in this because I made that shawl recently, but a lot of this is the little bits of scrap that was left from making this blanket, and so I have all sorts of colors here. And it was fun to make. I love making these baskets, and I love knowing that I've used up every little bit of my yarn. So that's my last info. Yeah, so I have 3 whips because I started everything. 3 or 2? 2 whips. I have 2 whips. Oh, did I show you this? I don't think I showed you this. This is the Snow Queen. I finished her last night. I already sent out the Snow Maiden. This is the Snow Queen. Again, this is for Toon Studios. Why does she look like she's looking? Okay, there she is. This is for Toon Studios, who I have agreed to make dolls out of the images that they sent. So they wanted the Snow Queen, and I finished her. She's got this cape. She's got like 2 skirts. These dolls take forever. There's 2 skirts, a cape, then she's got this boa. I got her hair done, I got her crown done, I got everything done, and she is ready. I'm going to just photograph her and send a picture to them, and if they want me to send her off right away, I'll send her off right away. If they want me to wait till, if they have another doll that they want me to make, this is the last one we discussed. So if they have another doll they want me to make, then I'll make that doll. Here's her face. I'm not completely happy with her face, and I'm not sure why. I'm not sure what it is that I don't like about her face, but I'm not completely happy with it. But she's done. I will take pictures of her today, hopefully, and send her out. There she is. Okay, so my whips. How many whips do I have? I think I have 3 whips. Yeah, I do have 3 whips. And I don't know where I put them. Oh, here they are. So one is the sugar skull. Like, I actually made this sugar skull first. So this is the DK version, and it did say DK to make with DK. So this is according to the pattern. And then I wanted to see the size difference between the worsted and this. So here's the size difference. Now, the thing is, I like DK weight yarn. I love it. It's my favorite weight of yarn. And I have all sorts of colors of it in cotton, but not in acrylic. Whereas for my worsted weight, or the 4 weight yarn, I have all sorts of color in acrylic ready to go. So I was able to pick out the colors here, and I was kind of confused on which ones of my colors that I wanted to use for this one. So I put it aside, and this is all I've done for it. I have since then chosen the colors, I just haven't worked it up yet. So I finished this guy, and I still have to do this one. This is the size difference between 4 weight yarn and 3 weight yarn. Yeah, I used I think I used an F hook for this one and a G hook. Okay, 4mm hook for this one, and for this one I used a 3 point. No, that doesn't sound right. Let me look it up. I have it right here. I think I might have used a Here it is. Okay. I used an eye hook for this one. So this one was a 5.5 millimeter hook, and for the eyes and thing, I used the flowers and all the details. Basically, I used a 3.75 millimeter hook. This one I made with. Come on, tell me. I used a G hook or a 4 millimeter hook, and I made this up with a 4 millimeter hook. I am going to do all the details with a 2.25 millimeter hook, and I'll show it to you when it's done, but for now, this is all I got. I finally chose all the colors, though. I was distracted with everything else I was making. I told you it's not going to look as nice anymore when I'm done showing it to you guys. But anyways, that's one of my whips. My second whip is a monster. So I made a shawl out of Picasso yarn. It was more like it was an asymmetrical shawl, and it felt more like a scarf. And I kept on, I don't know, it didn't look good. I wrapped it around my thing, and I just didn't feel like it needed any more. And so I had one skein of this plus whatever was left over of yarn left of the Picasso yarn. And so I decided to make a monster. So I went and looked at my monster pattern, which is available in my Ravelry store. And I knew I couldn't make that because I just didn't have enough yarn. So I wanted to tone it down, make it smaller. So I just made it smaller. I changed the shape of the arms a little bit. And then I worked up the thing. And then very soon I had worked up maybe up to here, similar to the pattern, not according to pattern because I had less stitches. I think around up to here, and then I realized I don't have enough yarn to finish this thing. And so I thought, what can I do? What can I do? And I decided I'm going to put some more decreases down here before I attach the arm, and just because I'll have less stitches per row, I'll be able to stretch the yarn higher. And so I frogged. This yarn is awful to frog. It's so hard to frog. It took me a while. But I finally frogged. I had planned to frog lower than I actually did, but I was fed up at one point, and I'm like, we're just going from here. And then I added more decreases I added more decreases than I had in my original, so that's why it's got more of an angled look. Anyways, this is also going to be a one-eyed monster. It'll have a grin with the teeth, and I'm thinking I'm going to put a hat on top, and I might still put the horns up. The horns, by the way, is the horns I used for this. I used the horns for this. I made it smaller, but I used the horns for this from that pattern, my monster pattern. So I'm going to use the same horns for this, and I want to put a top hat on it, I think. I'm not sure. But I finished the monster part. It's the details that I need to figure out and make. So this is my first whip. My second whip is, no, my second whip. That was my second whip, sorry. I'm losing count. That was my second whip. And so my third whip is my Dia Le Muertes doll. I may have said that wrong, and I apologize if I have. This one's going a little slow. Why? Because I'm making a tutorial on her. And so I have to, like, there's a certain amount of rows and a certain amount of things that I could do off camera, but there are certain stuff that I need to be on camera to do. I've done as much as I can before I need to go back on camera. And so it's been sitting there because, you know, when you're doing a tutorial, especially if you live in a small place like I do, every time I do a tutorial, I do whatever I do, and then I tidy up everything, put the table away, put everything away, and then the next day I have to take everything out again and start all over again. I haven't had a chance to start all over again, take everything out again. So this is where she is at the moment. I will be putting my concentration on her now, because I had been putting my concentration on this one because she's a commission. But now that she's done, I will be putting my concentration on her, and hopefully, I mean, I know I could work up the head today. What I don't know is, can I record and work up the head today? Hopefully I will. But anyways, I want to start working on the details, like you know, like the eyes and the nose and the mouth. I'm really excited to do that. And I hope my ideas work out. I really do. Because I'm going to be making crochet details instead of needle felting like I did in the first one, because not everyone knows how to needle felt, and since I'm making this into a tutorial, I want it to be accessible to all crocheters. So that part I'm glad that there's two eyes in a doll, because I could work one up as a tutorial and figure out the first one on my own. Then show that one and say, okay, we're gonna make this eye, I'll remade one, you make two, and then do the second one on camera. But I need to do that, and I need to concentrate on this doll, and I am gonna take out everything and do that. I just was concentrating on her all this time. But those are my whips. I finished, I have 3 whips and all these finishes, and I was looking for yarn. I misplaced my black DK or 3-weight yarn, and I was looking for yarn, and I found some UFOs. I don't like having UFOs. I didn't think I had UFOs, but I have UFOs. 2 of them. Whoops. 2 of them. Ugh. Now, I made these years ago. I don't even know how many years ago I made this. I don't really remember too much about this. This one, I do remember it is a pattern by Epic Kawaii, and I don't have it readily available. It's going to be linked down below. I took it to Montreal with me. So this is before I started embroidering eyes or needle felting eyes, when I was still using safety eyes for everything. So this is really old. Because I didn't get to the point where I could make her eyes overnight. It took years of practice. So this is super old. And I do remember why she's not finished, and that was because I forgot to take hair color with me, the hair color yarn with me. And I went to the stores over there, and I remember not liking any of the browns, because I'm picky about browns especially. And so I decided, okay, I'm just gonna work on it when I get home, and I forgot about it. This one, I remember. I don't remember how many years ago I made it, but it's been years. But, wait, let me get her closer so you can see her. There she is. Ooh. There she is. I need to finish her. I'm just gonna put hair. I'm not gonna put the shoes on. I remember also the shoes. I took this yarn, I ran out of this yarn, and this yarn was a little thicker, so I was afraid the shoes would fall off if I use it. So I was going to come home and put shoes on her. I'm not going to put shoes on her. I'm going to just put the hair on this girl, maybe put a mouth, and then I'm going to send her to Crystal from Chronically Crocheting for her trunk or treat. Same thing with this one. This one, I have no memory whatsoever of anything about it. I don't know why I made it. I don't know why she has no hair. I don't know what pattern it is. It's not going to be linked down below because I have nothing. I don't remember anything about this thing. But I made her. So here are 2 UFOs that I found. All they need is hair, and she probably needs a mouth. And then they're done. So I am going to make hair for these guys, and then I'm going to pack it up along with the jellyfish and some other things that I have that are small lying around, and send it to Crystal from Chronically Crocheting for her trunk or treat. She wants to be a yarn fairy for Halloween, and she's going to go trunk or treating with her grandchildren, and she had wanted to make a bag full of toys to give out instead of candy, but her channel name is Chronically Crocheting because she has a lot of illnesses, and so people are sending her amigurumi to give out as, gifts. So I'm going to send these 2 out with her to her. I don't know how I had a UFO. I don't like that I have a UFO, but it is what it is. Yeah. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video. This is what I've been working on. It's a lot. I'm sorry this video was a lot, but when I'm making so many projects, not that I did more crocheting this week. I didn't. These are just because they're smaller projects that I have so many projects to show. But when you have so many projects, you get a long video. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you'd like to hear more from me, please subscribe. Bye.